For those of you who know me, you know that I love a good tequila. So I'm so happy that this week's episode is sponsored by Seimpre Tequila.
Yeah, and some of you might not know this, but I had a bad relationship with tequila for a very long time. But this Seimpre Tequila is very good, super smooth. And on today's episode with Mixology Matt, we were able to make 2 cocktails with it. So we made the Margarita and the Paloma.
Yes.
Super good, super smooth. And they even have their Reposado coming out next month in the LCBO. So be sure to check that out.
Bonus as well, because the aesthetic bottle comes with a cute little charm. So really cute, even just to savor the bottle and reuse it as well.
So.
Super cool. Definitely try it out for your next tequila drink, whether it's a mixed drink, cocktail, shot.
Yeah.
Go ham.
Go ham.
So thank you, Seimpre. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. As you can see, we are not doing our regular scheduled programming. Because we are having a mixology class with Mixology Matt. Hello.
How's it going, ladies?
Good.
Great.
How are you?
Doing great. It's fantastic to be here on this beautiful day.
We're very excited. So this is when we were talking about how we wanted to incorporate a segment called Keeping It TO, just incorporating, like, I'll talk to you as well, incorporating kind of local businesses, local people that
Entrepreneurs,
have
business
cool
owners.
businesses that are like different, and we've never done anything like this before. So we're really, really excited. You set it up beautifully. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he's going to be teaching us a class. It's going to be very immersive. We do recommend you guys watch us on YouTube because, again, it's very visual. The setup right now looks amazing, and we're going to be like working with you, like making the drinks. If you're listening, though, sit back, grab a drink.
Listen to ASMR, some ASMR bartending.
And let's get rolling. Before we start, what 2 drinks are we making today?
So today's class is going to be focused around tequila, one of my favorite spirits. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to have the Margarita, the OG classic. And then we have a Paloma, which is another summer refreshing cocktail. You just can't go wrong.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Okay, I cannot wait.
So I guess we'll just like hand it over to you. You can start on today's agenda and we can, get started.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay.
And thank you guys for having me. Always really important to support local, especially, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And welcome to the mixology class. My name is Matt. I'll be your mixologist for today. We've got an awesome lineup for you. I can't wait to share all these amazing drinks. And I'll share some mocktail alternatives for those who are not drinking and want to find some cool ways to stay sober.
Nice.
Okay, so before we get going, as you can see, there's a nice layout in front of you. We're going to do a nice overview of all the different tools in front of you before we get started with the class. So one of the most first things, you're going to see some shaker tins. So you've got a big cup, a big tin, and a small tin.
Okay.
You're going to have to separate that one.
Oh,
Bread's stuck inside.
Sorry, I do not make drinks,
So
but
a big tin and a small tin. This is going to be how we're going to shake our cocktails.
Okay.
And so that is going to put that back to the side. For those who do not have a cocktail shaker at home, there are some great household alternatives. Everyone might have a mason jar hanging around. Great way to shake a cocktail. For all the fitness enthusiasts, a nice protein shaker will get the job done as well. And I've even seen someone shake a cocktail with a Tupperware. Just make sure whatever you're shaking with, have a nice tight lid. And you just can't go wrong.
Okay.
One of the next things we're going to have to measure. So this is what we call a jigger. As you can see, they'll come in all different shapes and sizes. The small side is 1 ounce and the big side is 2 ounces. You'll see some lines in there.
Oh, I see that.
And that's to differentiate between 1/2 ounce or 1.5 as well. Okay. For my bakers out there, if you don't have a jigger, you can use the baking spoons. 1 tablespoon is 1/2 ounce. So if you're ever in a pinch, feel free to use the baking spoons or a 1 ounce shot glass.
Cool.
Next big thing we have to stir. We've got a nice fancy bar spoon for you. So nice copper ones. You can see it's got all the nice rim in the middle. But then again, you can use a chopstick, your finger, anything to get the job done to make sure you're stirring your drink. The next big thing we're going to have to do is to strain out our cocktail. So this is called a Hawthorne strainer. As you can see, it's got a nice coil. This is going to stop our ice when we pour and kind of do it like that. So you put it on the big one and you can strain out your cocktails as well. Again, another household alternative is a cooking sieve. A lot of people have this. You can use it to dust for all my bakers out there as well.
Cool.
And just a couple other kitchen functions, right? We have a cutting board, we've got a knife, and we've got a juicer. I think you ladies got the juice press. I've got this nice cool gadget as well. There's so many different ways you can juice or just use your hands at the end of the day.
Okay.
So those are all the tools we have in front. Is there any questions, ladies, before we keep going?
I'm good.
I've always wondered what this thing was. Like every time I've seen it, I could never figure it out.
Yeah,
it's as easy as
it looks complicated, but
yeah, no other questions.
Perfect. Okay, so today's class is centered around tequila. But before we get into it, I want to have a nice icebreaker. So I want you guys to do
Cool.
a quick intro and tell me what you like to drink.
I'll go first. I love tequila.
Okay.
My favorite spirit ever is tequila. I cannot do vodka. Tequila is just my go-to, and I love margaritas.
Mm.
Nice.
What else do I like from tequila? Does mojito have tequila in it?
Rum.
Yeah, that's rum.
Well, I guess margarita would be my favorite,
Perfect.
but tequila is the way to go. And I prefer, actually, I like white tequila. So
Okay. Very nice.
we're on track.
I like vodka usually, but Palomas is the drink with tequila that like I'll
You
opt
like?
for if it's like
Mhm.
on the menu. So like I typically like that,
Perfect.
but like honestly, I really like anything that's like fruity, I think,
Okay.
and like a bit sweet, but like it needs to have some sort of like fruit
Yeah,
component in it.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And for me, I'm a big whiskey guy.
Mm.
So old fashions, whiskey sours, but it's always a mood thing. Like, if I'm never having an old fashioned during the day, right? So
True.
that's where a Paloma or a Marg just really hits the spot.
Yeah.
Also a big fan of gin.
I actually like gin. It tastes like celery.
Which one's gin? In the blue bottle?
Yeah.
There's so many different kinds. Like Tanqueray's the OG. You've probably seen the green bottle.
Okay.
And the reason why I like gin so much is because it's very versatile. It can be savory, it can be sweet, sour. You can really mess with it. And yeah, those are the
Cool.
drinks. Perfect. Okay, so today's class is centered around tequila. But first, what is tequila? Tequila is a spirit that is distilled from the agave plant. And there's many different kinds of agave plants out there. But for it to be called tequila, it must be 100% blue agave, and it must come from the Jalisco region. There's different kinds of tequilas out there: blancos, reposados, and añejos. And the biggest difference is how long they're aged. So for example, an añejo is anywhere that's aged longer than 1 year.
Okay.
And a reposado can be anywhere from 3 months to 1 year. Anything less than 3 months or not aged at all would be your blanco tequila. And a big reason why is just through the color, right? So a lot of the añejos are aged for a long time, in that it takes on that barrel color, and they've got a nice deep amber color. The añejos aren't really meant for mixing. So for making margaritas, you definitely want to have the blancos,
Okay.
or you might want to have the reposados. The añejo is more of a sipper, have it more neat, and usually those bottles are going to cost you a lot more. So you don't want to put it in a
Mixed drink.
in a mixed drink.
Got it.
So that is your tequila how-to. But also we're making margaritas, and that has Cointreau or orange liqueur. Orange liqueur comes in many different shapes and sizes, from triple sec, Cointreau, to the Grand Marniers of the world as well.
Okay.
Today we're making the marg with Cointreau. Cointreau is one of the OGs, meant for the margarita. And so that is going to be our orange liqueur for today.
I have a
Cool.
question.
Yes.
What's the best tequila if you just want to like down it like a shot?
a shot tequila? Oh my God.
Just like a quick swig.
Just
you
like
know,
a-
tequila.
If you want a shot of a tequila, I think have a reposado. It's a little bit nicer than the blancos, but in
Okay.
terms of brands, it really just depends on your preference and budget for sure.
Oh, right. Okay.
I have one other question. Sorry. So it can tequila can only be made in Jalisco. Yeah, what is Jalisco? Right?
Yeah, Jalisco province.
That's the
So-
only place where tequila is made.
Yes.
I didn't
Wow,
know
I
that.
didn't know that either.
Here's another thing. You may have also heard the term mezcal.
Yes.
Now, mezcal is a spirit made from agave as well, but it's also made from different types of agave. And the biggest differentiator is the fact it has a big smoky profile. And that's because they cook the agave plant before they distill it. So the agave is usually left raw or cooked very minimally, versus the mezcal, they use like volcanic rocks, and they kind of press it and they roast it in a big pit before it actually goes through distill. So if whiskey's tequila, scotch is like mezcal in terms of flavor
Got
profiles.
it. Okay, that makes sense.
And so the way we say it in the bartending world is like all mezcals are considered tequilas, but not all tequilas are mezcals. That makes sense.
Okay.
So imagine
Okay.
the tree. Tequila is a branch on the mezcal tree. That makes
Okay,
sense.
got
Okay.
you.
So anything made with agave is classified as a mezcal, or in tequila, a specific type of spirits made from agave.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that makes sense. I know
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
bit confusing.
No, that
But yeah.
actually made sense. I didn't know it was only like tequila. Tequila was only made in one
There's
province.
so
in
much that
Mexico.
goes into liquor that's like, it's crazy. Like when you go really into it, it's crazy how
yeah.
descriptive it gets. Like
You can get lost in the details.
Yeah.
to
Interesting.
me, it's just like I'm taking a shot of tequila, but like
yeah.
I never really thought to like stop to think where it came from. or,
Educate
like,
myself.
Yeah. So this is
Cool.
very
Okay.
educational. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
Well, I think it's time to make some drinks.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So as you can see, you got some fresh fruits in front of you. If we're making a proper margarita, we're going to be using some freshly squeezed lime juice. If you go to grocery store, see the big green bottle, stay away. It's just from concentrates, way too sour. You'd have to dilute it down. you can't go wrong with some fresh limes.
'Kay.
So ladies, I'm gonna have you grab a lime, and here's a little pro tip. On a flat surface, give it a nice little massage, a couple once overs.
Okay.
Just gonna really get the juices ready.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you got a cutting board in front of you. Maybe you
Yes.
can move the ice jug.
Move this.
Now I'm
there.
gonna cut my lime in half.
After last podcast, I'm scared.
There you go.
I think you probably need about a lime each for
What-
the margarita.
Okay, so I'll
So
cut
we'll
mine.
need a whole ounce of lime juice for the margarita, and usually about one whole lime should do it, unless it's a super juicy one. Before we start squeezing the lime, we're actually gonna prepare our glass first. So you can see on the dish in front of you, you have a little bit of tahini spice. This is a chili lime seasoning, and this is gonna be the seasoning we're gonna use for our rim rub.
'Kay.
So using one of your lime halves, you're going to take your small cup and you're going to rim the outside. You can do the whole thing or just half. I'll do half. So in case you have the option to not use the rim,
Rimming
I'm
it
just
out.
gonna.
or you can do the whole thing.
do the whole thing.
Do
I
the
like the
whole
way that
thing?
stuff tastes.
So on my board or on your dish, I'm just gonna pour out some seasoning. And then using your glass, you're just gonna press the lime, wherever the lime juice is, onto the seasoning, and it's gonna create a nice little rim. Don't be shy. I say the more the merrier. And when I say chili lime, it's not that spicy. So
I coughed a bit when I had some, but I just can't take spice. That's why.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
So it's going to add a nice little beautiful texture. And I like using tahini over salt rims just because tahini's got a little bit more flavor that definitely complements tequila. Now that we have our rim done, we're just going to put the side off to the glass
Cool.
for now.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to squeeze our limes. So using the small end of our jigger, get your presses ready.
Wait,
And
this is a small end, right? Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. In your jigger, you're going to put it on the small end. We're going to measure out 1 ounce.
Oh,
Small.
okay. What?
So yeah.
Why you?
Sorry. Okay.
So yeah, with your press, you're going to put the lime inside.
Oh,
Sam, you're
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
confusing
so
me.
sorry.
Like
Okay.
this.
Yep. Face down, and then you can just put it right on top. You don't have to put an
Like
angle.
that?
Yeah. And just squeeze. I always like to put the lime this way.
Oh. That would make sense.
Makes sense.
I'm
Okay.
using the good old fashioned twister. So I'm just gonna we need about 1 ounce. So make
Oh,
sure you
this
get the
is-
lime.
This is cool. It doesn't make a mess because of the hole
Oh,
in the
mine's making
bottom.
a mess.
So you
Nice.
need a full ounce in there. Don't
Okay.
be shy. If you got to use the other half, go for it. Oh, I got a juicy half here.
Oh.
Almost. You got to go right to the top.
Oh, okay.
So right at the rim. Oh, mine
Right
is
to the
not
rim.
squeezed.
I happen to get lucky. This lime is extra juicy. I got a full ounce from just half. Perfect.
I think I'm gonna need to use my
Mine came out just right.
other one.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, I think that's good.
Now you've got a full, yeah. Now in one of your tins, you're going to put in,
Doesn't matter which
I,
tin.
I would start with the big one.
It smells so good.
Just pour it right in.
Okay.
Okay, up next, we are going to add some simple syrup. So if you were using a different orange liqueur, like have you ever seen those McGuinness bottles? It looks like a bit of a rectangle or like weird like pentagon
Yes.
shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are some triple sec are like 18% and they're much sweeter, right? If we were using that orange liqueur, we wouldn't need to add any simple syrup because it's way sweeter. However, a Grand Marnier or a Cointreau is 40%. So it's not going to be that sweet.
Okay.
And so depending on your sweet to sour ratio, I think we should add just a little bit of simple syrup because the lime can get very intense.
Okay.
So in the little squeeze bottle, I've got some simple for you guys. You're going to do half an ounce. So it should be the first line in there. But just half an ounce is all you need.
Okay.
Also, pro tip, we always start with our cheapest ingredients into the shakers first. So
Okay.
if you mess up your ratios, you wouldn't have to throw out the expensive
Mm.
booze. So we start with the juice and the sweeteners because if we mess up, we can always start over again.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, so I want one of you guys to grab this Cointreau bottle. You're going to measure out 1 ounce. Got 1 ounce. I'm just going to pour that in.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to go right to the top.
This is so like,
Oh, yeah, right to the rim if you can.
I'm so clumsy. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
scared.
scared I'm gonna drop everything.
And in case, if you ever been to a bar and you see the bartenders free pouring without the jigger, there's a pro tip with these little spouts. Roughly 4 seconds is 1 ounce.
Okay.
So if I just free pour 4 seconds, that's going to be give or take an ounce, depending how fast you're going.
So I always thought there's a stopper there that told you, because sometimes, like, I don't know, when I used to go to the clubs, used to pour out the bottle, it like stopped and I have to go, oh, and then do it again. Is that anything? Or is that
There
just...
are some that like are loaded like that. They'll do 1 ounce and you have to go down then forward again.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever been to Rebel, they've got like that little contraption
Yeah.
that pours it out like exactly measured 1 ounce every time. I don't believe they use 1 ounce just because I was at Rebel not long ago and like the amount of drinks I had, there's no way those are real shots. But
Oh, yeah, they definitely
Yeah, they definitely
rinse you.
Yeah.
100%. So that's why with these spouts, it will keep pouring so long as you're holding it upside down.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay, so we've got our lime juice, we've got our simple syrup, we've got our cointreau, and last but not least, we need to get our tequila in there.
Yum.
So this is the Seimpre Tequila. This is their plata. Now, depending on how much tequila you want to put in here, a margarita is at least 1.5 ounces of tequila. Or if you want to go big, you just round it up to a double. I think 1.5 to 1 ounce of cointreau is the sweet spot, but by all means, there is no right or wrong answer. So I'm going to do 1.5 for the demonstration. But by all means, ladies, if you guys want to do doubles, and don't be shy and get in there.
Right.
I'll put that right there.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna.
You can do
Do a
it.
double.
I'm driving. I'll have.
Fine. Thank you so much.
Rough week so far.
Yeah, it's been a
You
rough
need
week, and
double.
it's only Tuesday, so
Double it is.
alrighty, there you go. Wow, this.
Please drink
Aroma.
responsibly if you're following along at home.
Yes. Also, please be over 21 if you're watching this. I think we need to claim that too.
Definitely gotta put that on YouTube.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. So quick review of the ingredients just one last time. 1.5 ounces of tequila or a double, 1 ounce of our orange liqueur or cointreau. We have 1 ounce of lime juice and optional 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, depending on your taste profile. Okay, one of the biggest ingredients we're missing is the ice. So in your ice bucket, use the scoop and load up your shaker.
The top?
I might say go at least halfway.
It's a crunchy ASMR for all you.
Friend's obsessed with ASMR. She hasn't stopped talking about it.
Fall asleep without it.
One more thing I'll have you do, ladies. Take some ice and put it into your prepared glass.
Okay.
Maybe go halfway into the glass.
How long is it taking you?
Sorry, I'm not speaking this very well. There we go.
Worst case, you can just tilt it on the angle and like get in there. Perfect.
Stand by while I work with this ice. Oh my gosh, it smells like
Yeah, it
really
smells
good.
really good.
It's going to be great.
So what's the first drink you've ever made? Like when you started
Oh,
this
so
business?
the
Like
way
what's
I
your
started,
classic?
Yeah. All the bars closed during the pandemic, so
Mhm.
I brought the bar home. Fell in love with the art of making drinks, and one thing just kind of led to another. It really kicked off when I was at home and I was craving a whiskey sour. You know, when I was with the boys, I always hit up those fancy speakeasies, and like a whiskey sour with the proper egg white and everything was the drink for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? I've been itching for one. It's been a couple months. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a shaker set and started watching YouTube videos. And that was the first domino that fell. And it just kept progressing from there. And then I was turning up family events. Like I remember my first Thanksgiving 2020 was wild. Everyone was hammered. I was making wild
Oh
drinks.
my God.
And then it just kind of fell from there. I kept doing like recreating my favorite recipes, dirty martinis, Cosmos, espresso martini,
Oh my God.
100%. And so
Can you make a lychee
Oh
martini?
yeah, those are our favorite drinks.
100%. We can
Next time.
Yes, next
We'll
time.
circle back.
Yes,
Next time we'll
everybody.
circle back.
100%.
Okay.
Well, we have our drinks ready. So I want you guys with your shaker, you're going to put it down and give it a nice little tap on the top. There we go. Okay, so you're ready to shake. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Give it a nice little, perfect. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So as you can see on your shaker, yours are double lined on the ends. So if you hold from the ends like this, your hands won't get cold. Versus if you hold in the middle, your hands are gonna be frozen.
Oh yeah.
So the
Yeah,
ends are double lined. Oh, and then here we go. We're shake. It's about 10 seconds.
Oh whoa.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's almost like a forward and back. It's like, there we go. Okay,
Cool.
5, 4, and we are done. Perfect.
Oh, that's so
Now you're gonna take the lid, give it a nice little shake, like wiggle it a bit. You're gonna take your
Hold on.
forward, back, forward, back.
you help.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No, you won't break it. But you know,
Yeah,
here we
yeah.
go.
I'm just like I don't want to.
So worst case, if it gets stuck, you can always hit it to one side
Okay.
and that will loosen it.
Oh.
And there you
Thank
go.
you very much. Okay.
So now you're going to take off, put your small tin on the side, and using your strainer, you are going to strain it into your glass. Just like so. I'm going to double strain just to show the technique. So sometimes like bartenders will double strain to really get some of the finer ice shards out of the drink.
Okay.
So traditionally, if I had like my full equipment, I would pour this over a big ice cube.
Mm.
And the big ice cube will just dilute the drink slower. But for demonstrations, we are going to double strain into our prepared glass.
Ooh.
That's so aesthetic.
And it should bring us really close to the top. I have a little bit more room for ice. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take another little scoop and just take it right to the top. Perfect.
Oh wow.
Yum.
So
Okay.
let's see.
Like this, right?
Yep.
So I guess I can add a bit more
You
ice.
can add a bit more ice.
I'll save something.
I don't think people realize there's like an art to it.
Oh, 100%. There's a lot more that goes
Should I put
into
mine
it
down?
than more people think.
Should I put it here?
And
Or no? I'll leave mine here.
just to garnish, one last thing, you're going to see some dehydrated oranges, and that is going to be our garnish. Traditionally, if you don't have dehydrated orange, you can probably use a lime wedge.
Okay.
But we're going to put that, just drop that right in.
Ooh.
And there you go.
Oh.
That is our classic margarita.
Cheers.
Yay.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers, everybody. Mm.
In unison. I love that.
That's so good.
I'm not even joking. That's really good.
Mhm.
I don't usually drink margaritas, but this is super good.
And it's really fresh, but like the garnish gives it like a kick, like a spice.
Brings you to that next level.
And the tequila's like just right. Guys, and we're not even boosting, like this is actually
Yeah, like I'm
really
not
good.
even just boosting.
So just to reiterate, fresh lime will make or break this drink. A lot of bars, like sometimes, due to maybe to budgetary constraints, they may use a sour mix. And sometimes a lot of the sour mix is made from a powder, like a Kool-Aid powder. So for example, you ever been to a bar, order whiskey sour and it's green? They use a,
should not be green,
it
right?
should not be green. It could be like a more beige yellow color.
Yeah.
So fresh lime all the way. And this is just the original lime margarita. But if you want to ever get creative with it, you can really use other fruits like a raspberry, muddle some raspberries in your shaker, mango. I've done watermelon. The possibilities are endless.
Wow.
And you know what? Like when you go to restaurants and stuff, sometimes margaritas are colorful. But I feel like they shouldn't be, right? If you're like using the right ingredients, they,
If it's like the lime one, that's exactly what it's supposed
like
to
this,
be.
yeah.
And if you like the smoky vibes, try a mezcal. You can always really mix it up or do half and half.
Yum.
That's the best part about this whole situation.
Question, is the orange edible?
You probably could. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a
Wanna eat
dehydrated
it?
orange,
Kind of looks like good.
Obviously,
like
it's
almost like
edible.
a chip, almost, right?
No, yeah, I don't know if it's like you're not supposed to eat it or if it's just
So-
for decor.
Like because it's dehydrated, as it sits in the drink, it's going to release a lot of its flavors.
Yeah.
So the more it sits, the more orange flavor it's going to really get into their cocktail.
I'm gonna keep mine
Let's-
here. 'Cause
I'm gonna
mine's
just
ugly,
take a
but-
picture just for 1 sec, if
You,
that's
you,
okay.
you want to use mine, the half? Yeah,
Capture this.
get the pic.
You know what I mean?
Tag me at Mixology _Matt.
Okay, that
Okay,
was
that was really good. Like seriously, really good.
10 out of 10.
Amazing. So we definitely got a little bit of a break before we get to our next one. So I'm just going to do a
Yes.
quick little cleanup
Okay.
on my side here, and then
So while you clean up, we do have a few questions for you. And I
Sure.
guess just my main question is, so you told me like during COVID, obviously bars
Well,
shut
let's start
down.
from the beginning because you told us this before we got
So
on.
what were you doing before this? Like you didn't know this was obviously what you were going to be doing, like something that just kind of happened. So what were you doing before, and like how? Because I know like there's this whole, we always talk about this on the podcast about like entrepreneurship and like starting your own side hustle. Like, were you scared to start? Like, were you kind of doubting yourself when you started? Like, how was like your thought process throughout, like from where you were to like where you are now?
that's a great question. So what I did before the pandemic and what I'm still doing, I work for a consulting company
Mm,
called Publicis, and
No way.
I've heard of that.
yeah. So
I work in marketing too.
there we go. Right. So it's one of the big consulting firms. I'm a project manager. And
Nice.
so after I graduated from Waterloo, I just had a nice in at I really liked project management. I was at a tech company, but I went from CGI to then Publicis Sapient, and I really love the project management life. However, as the pandemic ended up happening, you spend a lot more time at home, and everything changed. And so it's one of those things where it started off as a hobby. I really liked the art of creating drinks. Was always into cocktails and especially drinking them. And
Mm,
so I'm like, you know what? Now I don't know when bars are going to come back. So, and I've been itching for a proper drink. So let's just make it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I started watching, I think it was Steve the Bartender on YouTube, this
Mm.
Australian guy. He's a beauty. And that's kind of how it all kicked off. And then at the end of 2020, early 2021, I said, how do I monetize? My brother bought me an apron, Mixology Matt, as a joke. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to run with
Oh,
this.
Run with
yeah.
it. Yeah,
See
might
what
as
can
well.
happen. And I end up starting, because of my day job, I'm in a very corporate environment. I've seen some of the world's cheesiest virtual events, from a
Mhm.
questionable Family Feud to a pretty decent trivia and everything in between. I'm like, you know what? A mixology class could be a great way to keep people engaged and keep people connected within your project teams and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it started. Got a lot of business, ran some LinkedIn ads, started doing virtual. And then summer 2021, people were like, hey, the restrictions have lifted. You want to come bartend at my backyard party? Or I think my very first in-person gig was a staff party for a primary school. All these teachers
Oh,
wanted to get to come
Turn
see
teachers
me.
up.
like to turn the
They
fuck
wanted
up.
to turn up like you have no idea the year we had with all the kindergartens. I'm like, you know what? Why not? And so everything just kind of domino affecting from there. And now 2022, I've got a team of 5 or 6 bartenders. I'm really
Nice.
hitting the wedding space. I actually made it to the Jägermeister's top 10 for the Meisterhunter competition,
Nice.
Oh,
which
shit.
is happening September 27th in Toronto at the Crybaby Gallery. So who knows? Whoever wins the top 10 in Canada goes to London for the global competition. So
Do you vote? Is
Wow.
it a voting thing?
there's 4 different judges.
Oh,
It's almost like a Food Network thing where like there's judges, you have to present your drink, you have to
so the public can't vote.
no, it's a
Mm.
private event, and there's like 4 specific judges that are
okay.
like within the cocktail community, probably some brand reps from Jägermeister.
Mm.
And then there's a bunch of different criteria like taste, presentation, technique, and whoever wins will then move on to the next round in London. So fingers crossed. And
Well, Fingers
it's been
crossed for
quite
you.
a journey from watching YouTube videos to now I'm in a top 10 in Canada for Jägermeister. It's like crazy.
Well, I feel like that just goes to show, like, if you have a passion for something and you're good at it and you just keep at it, like, look where you're at. You know what I mean?
Consistency is key.
Exactly. And I really want to stress that point. Like, if you have an idea and if there's something you're passionate about, please don't be shy, because if you told me 2 years ago I'd be bartending weddings, I'd probably say you're lying.
Yeah.
Right? There's just no way.
Because it's so vastly different from what you do in
Yeah.
your like career day job, you know?
100%.
So it's like, yeah, I
a lot
know.
of transferable skills. The soft skills have always been there. I could small talk my way to anything at this
Yes,
point.
the
100%.
interpersonal. Yes,
100%.
that's what being a
So
project manager is about for sure.
definitely a lot of fun. And now we'll see where 2023 takes me.
Yeah, only up from here, right?
And I know you told us off the camera, but like I don't know if that was your funniest story, but do you have a funniest story? Well, because I know bartenders are like therapists, they say like people at a bar, people are drinking, you end up, you have to say everyone's secrets, obviously, but people end up saying things or their stories.
Basically, what's the weirdest shit you've ever heard?
Yeah,
about, like
okay.
you've been getting someone drunk,
Yeah.
technically.
I was trying to be nice with it,
Yeah,
but
honestly, you get some wild stories out there. Like I did a wedding not long ago, and like there was this one guy. He's like, he's like, I had a chance with her, man. I'm like, with who? He's like, the bride. I'm like, okay.
oh
I'm like,
wow.
would you like a shot, sir? And so
Please.
Like, please just shut up.
no, I think my best gig and my worst gig happened in the same day.
Mm.
note to self, try not to book yourself twice in the same day. So
Oh,
I ended up doing like a 2-year-old's birthday in Ajax at the time, 12 to 5. Amazing gig. They fed me well. You would have thought I was at a wedding, just like the amount of vendors that they brought in.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this 2-year-old's never going to remember nothing.
Kids' birthdays are the
Right.
best.
Right. And so I'm like, this was great. Did very well in tips. I didn't want to leave. And then I had to go from Ajax to a party room in a condo downtown. It was a 30-year-old's birthday. But the 30-year-old clearly had different objectives than the 2-year-old. And it was one of those situations where the host was drinking at a pace that was very dangerous. And, this is always a bit of a tough subject for me because as a bartender, you have a duty of care, right?
Right.
With smart serve guidelines, you can't let anybody get too messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it is a private event, so it can be a bit more of a blurred scenario because he lives in the building.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's an hour and a half in. And this guy was like 8-9 shots or 8-9 drinks in. And he's like, yeah, man, can you give me the tequila bottle and do shots to all my friends? Like, yo, man, like, you got to make it till midnight. There's a cake. You got to last, right?
Yeah.
And how about you just get some water? There's all this food here. Get some food in you and come back in like maybe another 30 minutes. And then he got really aggressive. Like, yo, I'm paying for you. Give me the fucking bottle, bro.
Oh,
And I'm just like, oh.
you're in that weird situation.
That's
now.
all. I would feel so uncomfortable and
I'm
awkward.
just like, okay, let's just call him Bobby. So I'm like, okay, Bobby, let's be real here. I'm like, you're going at a pace. Plus, you got to make it till midnight. Rekka's got a cake for you. Okay. And we can't go too far. And he's like, yo, man, I'm paying for you. Just give him the bottle. And he's like, let's not start a scene. He kind of like, he got right in my face. I'm like,
Oh
you
my
know what?
God.
Wow.
I'm like,
Here
okay.
you go. Here's a bottle.
I'm like,
Like,
I'm willing to bet whatever's in my tip jar, which was like only $10. I make it past 11. It was like 9 o'clock. 10:45. Oh my God, has anyone seen Bobby? I'm like, oh yeah. I saw Bobby book it to the washroom. Haven't seen him since. And he ended up yakking. I'm just like, you know what? Like, I tried to stop him and I tried to feed him water. And it's like, you know what? There's only so much you can do.
You can't make someone like,
No.
stop if they
Yeah. It's different if you're at like a restaurant or like
Yeah.
an actual bar because, okay, I
100%.
can fully cut him out. Okay, security, get him out of
But
here.
you're in his home. Like,
I'm in his condo,
Yeah.
right? In the party room, like there's no other support there. And it's like, okay, you know what? I did what I could, tried to give as much water, and they had to hold him up to blow out the candles. So
that's a fun time. It's a fun birthday.
Oh, you remember
Happy
that,
30th
but
birthday.
I mean, I kind of get it. Like you're with your friends, it's your birthday, you want to drink.
I
but
get
again,
it, but
it's like a
it's awkward
blurred
for the
line.
bartender.
Yeah, blurred line for sure.
exactly.
But
You
it
guys
was-
ready for our next drink?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
let's do it.
Sorry, we were like talking your ear off.
Yeah,
but
no problem
interesting.
at all. Okay, so the Paloma is centered around this lovely fruit right here. Now, this is a ruby red grapefruit. So using the cutting board, we're going to have to start getting into this one. So what I want to have you guys to do,
Wanna cut this one?
I'll show you what we're going to do here. So you're going to cut off the ends, kind of like this. So you're going to have like each end exposed.
Okay.
Okay. And now I'm going to cut the whole thing in half one more time.
Why did you cut it twice?
It was like white.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So now you should have a half that kind of looks like this. For those that are just listening, what I did is I cut off the ends so we have a flat surface on the top and the bottom. And then I cut the whole thing in half. We have a nice little,
Wrong?
no, vertical. So stand it up.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
there we go. And we'll cut
There
it
we
much
go.
nicer. There we go.
Way better.
Okay, so before we get to juicing, what I'm going to have you do is tilt one of these on the side, flat down, and we're going to cut our garnish first. So another pro tip, if you're ever behind the bar, you're in a rush, you always get your garnishes out of the way first.
Okay.
So we're going to cut a nice healthy slice, maybe like a nice big one, and we're going to make like what's called a half wheel. So it's going to look something like this. This is going to be our garnish and how we finish it at the end. You got to bring it closer to you by all means.
You might have to do that. Okay. No, this is good. There we
Yep.
go.
So you're going to cut one more for Francesca. Now, because those presses are not very big, and as you can see, this grapefruit is pretty large.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to cut it one more time into like a quarter. So, like this. So I also should preface with this saying that the Paloma, there's a couple different ways to make this. I think the original recipe was tequila, lime juice, shaken, and then it was topped with grapefruit soda, like a
Okay.
Fanta or Squirt as an
Huh.
example. But I prefer using real grapefruit juice and then topping it with regular soda. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm sure some bartenders out there might debate me on this, but I find that the fresh grapefruit juice is always better, especially if you can get your hands on a nice ruby red.
Okay.
And I think that's always just like the differentiation here.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to take one of those quarters and put it face down in your press. You need about at least 1.5 ounces. So we're using your big side. You want the majority of that full.
Okay. Whoa, this is like super juicy.
Oh yeah,
well,
it's
like
gonna fill that whole
overflowing,
thing. So get it right up to the top, and then
Mine's like coming out of the
yeah, if you need to like tilt it from the side
Yeah.
to get some of the excess,
that?
yeah. So you
How
want a
much?
full double. So if you need to even use another piece, get in there. My little twister here is not exactly the ideal tool for the grapefruit, but there's no right or wrong answer.
How are you gonna get yours in it?
I don't know. Oh, whoa. Okay.
Alternatively, I feel like some of the store-bought grapefruit juice is usable in a cocktail like this versus a store-bought lime. Also, do you want to give a shout out to one of my biggest vendors at Juice Concepts? Juice Concepts provides fresh juice for a lot of bars, and it's really helped up my cocktail game. So they provide a lot of fresh juices and bar mixes like Paloma mix, a mojito mix, and fresh juice all the way. I don't use from concentrate because your cocktail will suffer and your guests won't be as happy in the end.
Cool. Good to know. I'm
This-
having issues with. Let me cut it smaller.
Yeah, it's a
I think it's because it's so juicy.
yeah,
It's
this
like,
is I picked the ripest one I could find.
This looks good. I want to like.
Same. Love grapefruit.
Okay, so I've got about 1.5 ounces of my Paloma or my grapefruit, sorry.
Sorry, I was taking a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm like. Okay.
Mine's not on the top yet.
Yeah, mine's. I don't know why
How
mine's
close
up.
are you?
Like here.
Okay.
I need more, right?
You know what?
Try getting this guy over here.
Having a tough time with
What
this
the
food.
fuck is?
Do
Have you
you-
been watching me this whole time?
Do you need some help over there? Okay.
I'm so sorry. I will wipe down
Send
this
the press.
table.
Don't worry about that.
Yes, can you?
Yes.
Mixology Matt's just gonna do it for me.
Yes, I'll
He's a
quickly help you
professional.
out here. Send your
For the
shaker
sake of
tin real
time.
quick.
Let's take a pour.
You guys
Oh,
need this
yeah.
now, or you can do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely help clean this table later.
Yeah, I've squeezed a couple grapefruits over the years here.
I'm just honestly, I'm so clumsy. It's bad. Pass me
Okay, I
this.
think mine's good.
Yeah,
Mine's
yours
good.
is fine. I have grapefruit all over it.
That's why I didn't wear white. I knew I was gonna get dirty.
Smells
Wow.
super good though.
Holy, this is squirting everywhere.
Yeah, it's super juicy, but that means it's gonna taste really good.
Yes. So perfect. Got about 1.5 ounces there. No problem. We're going to
That
pour
one.
that in there. So you got your grapefruit.
Okay.
And we're gonna need another ounce of lime juice. So I'm
Okay.
putting you to work, ladies.
Oh,
We're gonna need another half lime at least.
okay.
So same thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I even poured it. I was gonna pour it in the sink.
So now we're gonna use about 1 ounce of the fresh lime.
I really do like the whole like fresh fruit aspect. I feel like you only get this type of thing when you're on vacation or something.
Yeah, for real.
Oh yeah, you
Can I
really
pour that?
yeah. That's why like when I found that Juice Concepts company, they really changed because there were some times like I was making raspberry mojitos and I was muddling the raspberries. I was pressing the limes every time, and it was too much.
Mm.
And as a result, my drinks were taking too long and the
Mm.
lines were building. And it's like, okay, so it's not exactly ideal. I've got customers waiting, you know.
How quick can you make a drink now? Like, if you were to make this drink, like, if I was your customer asking, like, what's your That's a weird question.
Oh, I
but
could do if I have a proper setup and I'm ready to go, like
Yeah, if you're not like with us, who are
less
very, very
than a
slow.
minute, probably, right?
yeah, like realistically it'll probably take 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Okay, you got your ounce of lime in there.
Yes. Cool. This really does feel like you're like making a potion, right? Like like mixology is like
It is the science.
it's like yeah, that's what I was gonna
Okay, there we go. Okay, great.
Okay, ladies. So it's different from what the last recipe was. We're not going to be adding any simple syrup.
Okay.
So grapefruit's more naturally bitter,
Yeah.
but it's a bittersweet, as you all know. So we're not going to put any more sweetener. You can always sweeten it later,
Okay.
but I'd say for now, we're not going to.
Okay.
Now, time to add
The fun part.
the fun part, the tequila. So the amount of tequila is up to you. You want to go 1 ounce, you want to go a double, feel free to play within your limit. I always think 1.5 is the sweet spot. So that's exactly why I'm going to do 1.5 for our demonstration.
Okay.
And I'll give this back to you.
1.5 this time. So that's
So
one full one and then
hold on.
half.
if you flip it over,
Oh.
if you flip your jigger over,
Oh.
and then see that line inside,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
1.5.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Oh. Yum. Okay. Okay, cool.
Perfect. So you got 1.5 in there.
Yes. That grapefruit like really smells nice. Okay, these are our garnishes.
Oh, that was a lot.
Okay. No, that's 1.5.
And that's
right?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to get our ice going here.
Good.
Is it good?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Chris is having a drink as well, guys.
You got to take care of our cameraman.
Mm.
For sure.
Favorite podcast.
Also, a rim rub on the Paloma would totally work as well. If you want to do it, you totally can. I won't this time.
Okay.
But if you want to rim rub again, you got lots of discarded things. You just rub it on the outside. Maybe use the grapefruit this time.
He's like, you have a lot of discount.
Yeah, it's a lot of
You
discarded
have a lot of
grapefruit.
wasted fruit over there.
No, hey, that's what it is.
Oh my god, that was funny.
We need
Okay.
a green bin soon.
I like this tahini, right?
Tahini, yeah.
Would you ever like use sugar
Or
when you're
salt?
like salt? He said, yeah.
Salt, I think like if you use like a very good specialty salt, like Malden salt or like a smoked salt, or just like any kind of enhanced flavored salt, fine. Sugar rims, I think, are more common sometimes for like a daiquiri sometimes, more sweeter drinks. But I don't like using a sugar rim. I've
Okay.
never have. And that's just personal.
Okay.
Salt can be too much. Like I find
I
maybe
agree.
half salt is fine, but like
Yeah.
the tahini, for me, there's never enough.
I had a drink recently and it was salt and tahini. So both, but the salt was like I
It's
couldn't.
too much.
Yeah, it was very overpowering.
Okay. Cool. All
Okay,
right,
so
we're
now
rimmed.
we've rimmed the glass, ice in the big tin, ice it up.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna shake
Oh,
it
yes.
one more time.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry, it was so slow.
Here, tilt it. Okay.
If you need more ice, I have some here.
I think. Okay, I think we're good for that. We might need some for the glass, but
No, it's okay. We're gonna do something else this time. Because
Oh,
we're running
okay.
low, I'll show you what we're gonna do.
okay.
Okay, so now you're gonna close your shaker.
Yep.
Give it a nice little close. You guys ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3, and shake. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. You can go backwards, behind the back, a little bit over here. Sometimes if you got the double, you know. You can, oh yeah.
Let's start saying
You guys, I have never seen Fran do. I'm not joking.
double fist.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly, right?
What is going on?
Okay.
Okay.
Now you're gonna open your tin.
Okay, the only reason why I'm hesitating, otherwise, like in a real setting, I would probably smack this, is because there's a mic in front of me.
Okay, ladies, even now mine's having some.
Is everyone having a little bit?
I know. Okay,
Technical
I'll open yours. I'll
Yeah,
open yours.
mine's like
Open.
Okay.
Please.
There we go.
There's
Thank
yours.
Getting the brownie.
I think
I know, I'm like-
this one's more new,
that's
so
probably
the
why.
newer it is, the more she
Got
likes to
you.
give you some trouble.
Okay.
That smells so good.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna free pour. Okay,
Oh.
so we're gonna free pour like about halfway, maybe about to there. Go ahead and then stop. Now I'm gonna strain the rest up. I don't want all that. I just want to leave leave some room on top. So Paloma is basically an upgraded highball, if you want to call it. So a highball is any spirit with a carbonated drink. Like for example, a gin and tonic is a classic highball. Rum and Coke, one of the OGs.
Okay.
So you should see a soda can in front of you,
Mhm.
and you're just going to top it up. Now using your nice trusty spoon, you're really going to want to
Oh.
stir.
I've been waiting to use this thing.
So there is actually a proper way to stir. Where
Okay.
you kind of get all the way around. So I hold it right in the middle. So, okay. You know the whole Star Trek vibe?
Oh, this thing?
So you kind of put it
Yeah.
there and you close these two fingers and then you're just basically back and forth. You want to keep the back on the outside. So it's kind of more like back and forth. And you use the circle.
That's so cool. Look.
So, and then if you really want to speed it up, you really can.
No, like
It's
this.
okay. It takes time. It takes time.
Mine's silly.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So now I think you could probably get away with adding more soda. Like you want to go right to the top.
Oh, okay.
It's like an ombre color.
Wow. This is
Yes. Okay. Now to garnish with that grapefruit slice,
can't find it.
you can put it right on the side if you want. And then I should say if we're at a restaurant, I'd probably drop in a nice spoon or a straw. And there you go. That would be your tequila Paloma.
Yay, that looks super good.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Yeah, okay. I'm
I'm going to
excited for
drop
this
the
one.
grapefruit right in there.
Oh my god,
Yo,
that's so
this
good.
one's really good.
I've never had a Paloma before either.
I have.
It's like
It's like refreshing. Like you drink this if like
I picture myself like on a beach right now, just chilling, like drinking this.
just
Legit.
close your eyes for a second and just sip it.
So my question is it too sour?
No.
I don't think so.
So you could optionally, if you wanted, to add more grapefruit juice or even a touch of simple if you really wanted. The ideal sweetener with tequila drinks would be agave syrup, but that's not as easy to come by, especially at the grocery store, like
Mhm.
Nature's Emporium as an example.
Oh yeah.
But most people, simple syrup's the easiest thing to make. 1 cup sugar, 1 cup water, and there you go.
I think I like it like this personally.
I do too. I like the sourness of it.
Cool. Well, these drinks are both really good. I
Now,
mean,
which one do you prefer? One's Margarita is a lot more concentrated, there's no soda. It's more of a short drink.
Mhm.
Paloma's a bit of a more longer, refreshing.
let
I'm
me
gonna
see.
say the Marg. I'm biased, so I love Margs, but like this is I don't know. This to me like
No,
hits
this.
the spot. Really?
Yeah, 100%. Because like,
Nice even split.
how about you?
Mm. I think during the day, Paloma,
Mm.
as I'm getting like more in like the nighttime, like after 5, I'd probably get into the Marg zone. It's way more concentrated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if
You
you're
don't
drink-
realize it though until you like drink this and then that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it definitely will catch up.
Hmm.
But yeah, like one of the things I always say, like how to get creative with recipes, right? That's a big thing people always ask me, like, oh, like I'm at home, I've got all these spirits, I got all these fruits. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's similar to cooking, right? It's just like a lot of your similar flavor profiles in cooking can also be transferred to bartending as well. So for example, like the easiest way to really get creative is through syrups, in my opinion, right? So take that pack of raspberries, turn it into a syrup, and then instead of using simple in the Marg, you can just do raspberry syrup.
Mm.
And there you go. You have a raspberry margarita, right? Or for
Healthier.
example, yesterday we have a bunch of herbs at home that just going to end of the season. So I made a mint syrup,
Huh.
Mm.
right? So for example, when I make my mojito next time, it'll be extra minty because I just made a little mint syrup. Or
Wow.
I made one called there's a herb called savory, and
Okay.
it's almost looks like rosemary, but it's almost like a lemon peppery rosemary. And so
Okay.
this was a new experiment. I'm going to try a new drink with that as an example. So
Nice.
through syrups, even infusions as well. So for example, take your alcohol, let it infuse with something like a spice, a herb. I've even done tea infusion. So one of my favorites is
Mm.
green tea infused gin. And then from there, you can take your
Damn.
infused product and make some of your classics. So like I've done a green tea martini as an example,
Huh.
That
right?
sounds, yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
Oolong, rum, and Coke,
Hmm.
or a mojito with that. And so it
Yeah.
adds another layer of flavor that you wouldn't normally have, right? And so that's where it's like you can really have fun. And even if you put grapefruit juice in the marg, another easy substitute, and you just
Mhm.
combine those drinks into one.
It's really just like another outlet for like creativity too,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is.
Like
Even
it's
like
really
the
Exactly.
great.
garnishes, like the tahini, the salt, the sugar. It's like, and it
I-
fits whatever mood. Like, I don't know, alcohol just makes me happy. I don't say that in a way where it's like I'm an alcoholic, I love
Yeah.
to drink.
No.
But like having a good drink when you're like just in the mood for it hits different.
Mhm.
100%.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where a lot of restaurants, I feel like, are having to up their cocktail game,
Yeah.
because it's one thing to just serve rail and your staple draft beer list,
Or
right?
watered down like vodka. I don't know. Just like the restaurants sometimes yeah, you're right. It's all like water or not enough or too much, or like you ask for a double and it's not really a double. It's like
Exactly. And
half
we've
a
got a
shot.
lot of fantastic bars in the city. So there's this online platform called the World's Best 50,
Mm.
and they focus on the best 50 bars, and they go to each different continent. And so they came to North America and they ranked the top 50 bars in North America. And Toronto has 4 bars now that have
Mm.
made the list.
wow.
Silver Liberties, I think, came in 8th place. It's called Mother Cocktail Bar. I
Okay.
think came in somewhere in the 30s. Bar Raval and also Bar Mordecai.
I've
Hmm.
never heard of any of these,
It's
which is
weird.
weird
It's-
because we probably just go to the basic ass bars. We don't go to these like really like
hidden like low. I don't
world-renowned-
know. Are they like popular? Are they like kind of more low key?
Now they're, because the top 50s came through, they're getting even more popular. So like Silver Liberties has always been a very like bespoke style cocktail bar where there is no menu. The bartender asks you a series of questions and they'll just make something on the
Wow,
fly.
I've never heard of that
Hmm.
So
before.
it's all customized to whoever's in front of you, which is a
Very cool.
really cool experience. Mother is great. I know one of the owners, his name is Massimo Zitti. He actually won World Class Canada Best Bartender. So now he's
Wow.
competing in the global one. It's happening right now. I had a chance to go to his bar like a couple weeks ago. Fantastic. Queen West area, like just north of Liberty Village, right close to Bellwoods.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we're always
Yeah.
there.
Mother is fantastic. Book a table because it's jammed in there, but the food's fantastic. There's some great bars in the city. I know Bar Chef's really good too.
Hmm.
And I think Frank Solaric, he's the one of the main guy who started Bar Chef, and his whole idea was going beyond the glass,
Okay.
right? So not feeling constrained to just what's a glass, or like some of his cocktails are dishes,
Mm.
or it's like a whole
An
experience,
experience,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
And so like he'll do a mojito, and it's like there's a glass of a mojito, and there's like a deconstructed version of it, and like he even makes these cool things where it's like it's almost like getting to gastronomy. It's like, like with cooking, like there's like that Michelin level,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
and like they do some wild stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like a cocktail and like it almost looks like a Tide Pod, but it's like this edible gelatin. That
Yeah,
you can
I
put
know
in,
exactly. Yeah.
and then you pop it, and then it just bursts in your mouth, and it's a
Wow.
cocktail.
That's so cool.
And this is
So,
at which? This is which
This
bar?
one was Bar Chef. Again,
Bar Chef,
Queen
okay.
West, closer to Spadina.
Near Bellwoods, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one's another really great bar. There's tons of bars. If you want the tiki vibe, Shameful Tiki's fantastic.
I'm actually astonished that I've never heard of
and
any
it's
of
weird
these.
because bars are like the new move, I think.
100%.
I think for me,
Clubs
like,
are
I've
out.
just
I haven't been-
strayed away from clubs. Like the drinks, I think now, like I'd rather experience a good fucking drink and spend money on like a drink than like being
just
a
like
sweaty
order
club,
bottles and
being
like,
sardine.
yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like
Exactly.
great plugs because like that's amazing. I think bars are the new move. People are looking to like have a drink, have experience, like talk to people, but not be like so squished. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm with you about the club life, and like maybe if there's a famous artist coming
Yeah,
through, a big
yeah.
DJ,
Yeah.
if it's a friend's birthday,
Of
universal,
course.
there's always gonna be a time and place for the club. But I think for me personally, like as I'm getting older, I do appreciate the bar scene more
Exactly.
often.
Yeah.
And also I can hear myself think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a different time.
No, 100%.
But yeah, there's definitely a big more movement to like premium cocktails, and it's really exploded in the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. That was super informative.
Yeah. That was
Is-
great.
So
And
is this the end of the class?
We pretty much reached the end of the class. We
Great.
made our cocktails. I showed you how you can get creative with it. So now it's almost like Q&A. If there's any questions, don't be shy.
I mean, I feel
I
like
think
we
we
covered
covered it,
them
like,
during. Yeah,
as we-
sorry, we were like interrupting your
Mhm.
class a bit by asking you questions.
No,
Hopefully
but
that was okay.
I
But
appreciate the questions, and the only question is like, what's next? I have no idea.
Mm.
Right?
well, I mean, like, I think you're doing super well, and like I'm sure there's like bartending is a scene online, but I personally have never come across someone as
Yeah.
creative as you when it comes
Yeah.
to like mixing drinks. And I'm not, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this, even ask friend. I don't typically drink margaritas because like they're too strong for me. And I don't know, but this I can actually sip on it and it's super good. So I can only see
Music
you
to my
going.
ears, and yeah, it's one of those things where let's see what 2023 has in store. But I think like one goal I definitely want to get to, maybe in like 2-3 years, I would love to have my own bar one day.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I saw the path of like the distillers route, like making my own liquor
Mm.
and even a canned product. Like I remember I was working on an RTD for a while. RTD is a ready to drink cocktail, like a Cottage Spring, for example,
Hmm.
or a White Claw.
Okay.
And I was really in the process. I went pretty far down, and it's just one of those things where like you're competing against some massive brands, and especially the ready to drink beverages is the hottest market
Mhm.
in Ontario right now. Like it's
Mm.
literally insane, and the LCBO is not easy to get into. That's
Mm-hmm.
why a lot of similar local breweries and distilleries won't sell in the LCBO
Right.
because it's a pain in the ass to get in. It takes at least 1 year to 2 years if you're lucky. And so that's where I feel like the bar route is definitely something I want to get into. But in the meantime, before the bar opens, I'm doing a lot of bar takeovers. So
Cool.
every quarter I do like a public event. So recently I did a craft brewery and mixology to do beer cocktails or beer
Okay.
tails.
Cool.
And so combining
Beer
the world
tails.
of craft beer and cocktails, because I know some places have them, but the ones I've had have been terrible. So you can really get creative there. I did a trivia takeover not long ago. Stay tuned though. I'm trying to line up boozy boba in the fall. Alcoholic
Is that
bubble
boba
tea.
tea?
Yeah.
Stop.
We are
Yeah.
there. Wherever you are, whatever you're
Wherever
selling,
you are with the
take my
boba
money with
and
boba.
bubbles and like
Yes.
booze, I'm
it's
there.
coming.
That's a really good idea.
And so it's one of those things where still sorting out some logistics, but stay tuned. I've got some crazy recipes. Like I remember I did a gin mango green tea
Oh,
with
I
some of the aloe jelly in there. Oh yeah.
that's our alley.
Yeah, that's
Totally,
really
100%.
We'll have to have you back when
When you
When
release
go that
those,
route, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Well, thank you so much for coming on. That was like a really great experience. If you want, plug yourself one more time.
yeah, where
we
can people find you for their events, weddings,
contact
etc.?
info, all that.
Amazing. So the best way to access or to message me is through Instagram, Mixology_Matt, or my website, mixologymatt.com. I do private events, weddings, consulting. It really just depends what you're looking for, and I'm be sure we can make it work.
Cool.
Amazing. So those of you listening or watching or whatever platform you're on, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you can learn something, how to drink with us. And yeah, I had so much fun.
Yeah,
Thanks
I had
for
a lot of
having me.
fun.
Yeah,
Thanks
no
for
worries.
coming.
Appreciate it.
Anything
Cheers
else?
one more time, ladies.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers.
Keeping it cento.
Cheers, Chris.
There we go.
Cheers, everybody.
Salud.
Have a good one.